Hello everybody, this is Eric from AG Racing Central. I'm here today with a friend of the channel and a Wipeout player extraordinaire, SOLARXCETIC. Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. How are you today?
Yeah, great, yeah, I'm just fine. Very excited for today's collaboration video. I will just let you introduce yourself.
Sounds good to me. So people know me on the internet as SOLARXCETIC. I play Wipeout a lot of the time, and I'm also beginning to get known for doing a lot of demo Let's Play videos. Like Eric, I'm an anti-gravity enthusiast.
And you have actually recorded a video for us today to talk about. So what we are watching right now and through the entirety of the video is stuff that you have recorded from, is it your collection of demo discs from PS1?
It is indeed, and some of which I've actually recorded especially for this collaboration. So I have to say there is a lot to see here, and there are definitely going to be some things that people have never seen before and you may have missed if you've ever played demos, because there is a lot of differences in the early games, and I think a lot of people will definitely get interested once they hear a few of the things.
Sounds interesting. So can you tell us what we are watching right now?
I can indeed. So what we're watching is from Eurodemo number 1. So this is the Wipeout rolling demo. Essentially this is Carbonoi on, well, it's basically a Carbonoi where we're watching an AG Systems fly around, which is the ship that you would use in the demo. It's a gameplay video that's coming from the actual game itself. It's like kind of watching like a replay. But the difference is with this particular demo is every time you boot this demo up, the camera angles are always going to be a bit different. And it's also kind of coming from the full game as well, so you can kind of see from here what the game came out to be in the end.
Yeah, I see. So, and this is the track that was available in the demo?
No, this is the track that was available in the secret demo, which I shall definitely get more onto. Because there is a little trick that I'm going to reveal to you guys at the end of the Wipeout sequence. But the original demo, which we are going to be jumping to right now, as you can see, we got a little orange loading screen with a different bit of artwork.
Yeah, we are talking 1995 right now.
And we got a unique loading screen right here, which you can only find on this particular demo.
Okay.
You will never see this anywhere else. But for this particular demo, we are going to be jumping to Ultima. As you can see, we are back in the AG Systems ship again. So, let's point out some differences, shall we?
Yeah.
I've got a massive list here, so as we go through the demo. So, as you may have probably noticed already, the text is red. Usually in the full game of Wipeout, it is usually orange. So, that's always handy. Also, it's a one-lap demo with a lap record of 6 minutes, which it doesn't take 6 minutes to get around Ultima. But something that's I find quite unique with this particular demo is the billboards you see in the game aren't actually in the full game. These are pretty much rendered exclusively for this particular demo only. A few things to note about this particular demo as well. There are a few differences. For example, the missile pickup on this particular demo is orange instead of pink. The AI actually slow down completely if you stop on the track for some reason. Like, so for example, you physically just can't finish last. It's absolutely crazy. There's a 3-minute time limit on this demo as well. So unfortunately, during the loading screen, this counts down as well. So usually you get about 2 and a bit minutes to play before it just boots you back to the demo menu. So there is a little time limit on this particular demo. And you've probably heard throughout the demo as well, the announcer sounds a bit different as well. The announcer for the warning for weapons and stuff sounds just a little bit different to what you would expect to hear in the full game. Now we're going on to the other demo version.
Yeah.
You might notice speed pads and weapon pads are in different places. And we actually are now going to the demo that actually has, well, what it's like in the full game. So you're going to notice some differences straight away. As you can see, the billboard is now replaced with Tanker straight away, as you can see.
Okay.
And instead of it saying Psygnosis behind it, it says Pfizer. So we've got some noticeable differences already. You can now see the thrusters as well, like the fire coming out of the ship.
Yeah.
A little bit of development there. The lap record now also says 1 minute 26, not 6 minutes, not 6 minutes anymore. So it kind of gives you an idea of how Wipeout developed over time. I think this particular demo was recorded on one of the Essential demos, which is it came a little while after Eurodemo number 1 and Demo 1 version 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's always interesting because the visual design was obviously a very huge part of Wipeout overall. So I guess they wanted to make every detail perfect.
And it definitely came out very, very well in the final game. I mean, obviously this is one of the most popular games back in the day. Like, it generally showed the power of the PlayStation back in 1995. And you may have noticed there, we got a results screen this time round. At the end of the first one, we didn't get a results screen, but on this particular demo, we did. So there's a few differences already there. So it just goes to show these little differences, but they can make it makes the games feel so different. You never play the same game. But now we bring on to the secret demo. This demo was not actually supposed to be playable, and it was only found relatively recently by someone. I think it was a magazine that I found it in. I can't remember what the magazine was, but on the original video that I made on this particular demo, I posted the link there. And essentially what you had to do is you had to have Euro Demo number 1 and either Demo 1 version 1 or Demo 1 version 2, and you had to load up anything but Wipeout, and then once the Demo 1 logo had disappeared, you then take the disc out, swap it with Euro Demo number 1, and then you would get to play this particular demo. Now, if you remember, with the rolling demo, we were on Carbonar, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were watching a rolling demo of that one, but instead, we now get to play that. We now get to play that demo. Which this shouldn't be possible, but someone found it, and here we are.
But now we are jumping into the future to Wipeout 2097, it seems.
We are indeed.
Which is the same game as Wipeout XL for our American viewers.
So, we've got a different loading screen, as you can see. Not much different, but a little loading screen. So in this particular demo, you can play as all 4 of the teams. So Pfizer, AG Systems, Oricom, and Kyrex. You get access to 2 speed classes and only 1 track, which is Guard de Europa. We're gonna show the Vector class first.
Generous to include all the teams.
Very generous, I have to say, yeah.
I think there's a bit difference in graphics. I mean, this looks sharper and the shading is of higher quality. Even though the games, the Wipeout 1 and 2 are only a year apart, or 2 years maybe.
They really stepped up the aggression in this game as well. Yeah. Like, they originally was going to call this Wipeout 2, which was stated at the end of the first game. So when you completed Wipeout, the original one, it said look out for Wipeout 2, but this appears to be Wipeout 2 with a with a 97 on the end of it. So half right, I suppose. So some notable things on this demo. There are only 2 laps, which you would get that with Vector anyway, but unfortunately there's also only 2 laps on Rapier as well. So you don't get much time to race, but the good news is, unlike Wipeout, the previous demos, it doesn't end automatically. It'll just boot you back to the main menu, so you can have as many goes as you want. So that's always a good thing. There are only 3 weapons available on this demo as well. So you can only fire missiles, rockets, and the infamous plasma bolts, which, as we know, it's an instant elimination.
So now we're going to Rapier speed class, which is the fastest in the game this time around too, I guess.
Yep, so we do the same thing again, 2 laps, but this time we're upper speed class.
I can really see the difference. Now it's very obvious that you need to know all the turns by heart to be able to take them properly.
I suppose I kind of got the advantage with this one because I absolutely love this track, and I did kind of practice at this one a fair lot. It's one of my favourite tracks of all time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but that's the thing with the demo disc back then. It was all you had. You couldn't afford buying new games all the time, so you played the demos over and over and over again.
So a few notable things on this demo. There are obviously, as every other demo, there's obviously a few bugs and different things. So, for example, when you get critical energy, it announces contender eliminated for some reason. Also, at the end of the race, it doesn't show an F on the checkpoint dashboard. It actually shows a C. which usually C means checkpoint and F means finish in the actual final game. The plasma bolt can, unfortunately, glitch out if it's fired too frequently. So, unfortunately, it actually stays like that permanently as well. Like, once it glitches out, you can't fire the plasma bolt anymore. It just prevents you from doing it. But it's lucky it's fixed in the final game. And I think one of the most famous things that we have to mention, the glitch. If you happen to eliminate every single person on this demo, and you're the only one remaining, you kind of get a bit of a spectacular way out, one would say. But yeah, that is Wipeout 2097.
Yeah, it was a cool trip down memory lane. And that game was quite a bit of an improvement from the first game. Mm-hmm. I mean, Wipeout 1 seems relatively bare bones compared to Wipeout 2097.
Yeah, whereas like with Wipeout 1, it was just kind of like just a drive about, whereas 2097, you had to think a lot more, but it added a lot more of intensity.
And what are we watching now?
So we are now moving on to Wipeout 3. So this was on PlayStation Demo Disc 1999, Eurodemo 50, and quite a few other demo discs as well, but those are the most noticeable ones that I can remember. So we are playing as the Phyzar on Vector class currently. The only track was available in the demo on all demo versions of the game was Stanza Inter, which is this very track right here. The way this demo worked, so you play as Phyzar first in the Vector class. If you finished high enough, which I think it was 5th place if I'm not mistaken, you then get to proceed on in the demo. And you, upon completing the first half of the demo, you'll get given a cheat code to use in the final game as a little reward for completing the first bit of the demo. Yeah, a nice little reward. And upon completing the first race, you then get to play a second race on the same track. But instead, we jump to Rapier class, and we get to play as Goteki 45.
Oh, really?
And if you can beat that as well, you'll get another little cheat code at the end of that one as well. So there are 2 little cheat codes that you can get on as a little reward from the demo. So as you can see, we're just coming to the line right here. Yeah. And as you can see, you have finished the first part of the demo.
And you also have to comment on the way the ships fly. The cornering is much less drifty now.
Yeah, it seemed a lot more controllable in some instances. Yeah. I know in the full game, like for example, there are some craft that are a lot more heavier, like the Kyrex. Sometimes can be a little bit harder to steer, but I suppose that comes with like experience and stuff. You kind of like, you learn how each craft flies overall. So a few notable things on this demo as well. So MKL Control is the OST that you get playing this demo, so you can get a bit of good old Wipeout nostalgia. The last 30 seconds, you get replays in this demo as well, so if you finish and you want to watch a replay, you can watch the replay, and the last 30 seconds advertises the game to you, actually, saying the game that kickstarted an era or something. I can't remember exactly what it said. Something like that. Yeah.
They had earned their bragging rights about now.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention, there are limited weapons in this demo as well. Not every single weapon is available, so you can't see the cloak, you can't see the reflector, you don't get the multi-missiles, you don't get the energy drain, I don't think, but you get everything else. So there's a few limitations, but nonetheless you get a decent little fly, you get to play a really solid demo, a really solid game. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the PlayStation 2. Now, there's a lot more to see, and I think one on here is going to blow a lot of people's minds. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. We're going to be looking at the Wipeout Fusion trailer. It's courtesy of another YouTuber. It was uploaded by somebody else, so I borrowed his video. I've left him credit. But this is the Wipeout Fusion trailer.
Yeah, so this was the first and only Wipeout game for the PlayStation 2. And it was a bit different compared to the previous titles in the way it played and handled and looked. They took a bit of a bold new direction.
They really did. It was very different. This one was also another trailer for Wipeout Fusion by Shaolin Ninja Toes, another credit, because I don't personally have the ability to record these on my own. Yeah. So I've had to borrow a few videos. As you can see, this is the Wipeout Fusion, the second trailer, which is more or less a bit of the intro video, but showing you a bit of gameplay as well.
Yeah, and there's a clear focus on the actual pilots that we hadn't really seen before, in the games at least. This is a cool trailer.
Really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you good enough? So now we're going to be moving on to a little bit of an exclusive one. So this was from E3. So this, I know the quality's a little bit poor, but this comes from another person, Yuck's Video Continue, I think his name is. I probably might have pronounced that wrong. But this was a E3 video for Wipeout Fusion.
There's almost more pilot animations in this game than it is in the games for PS3 and PS4 and 5.
Crazy. I know it's a bit more of a looked down upon game, but it really shouldn't be, because the game itself is actually a lot of fun. I've played the full campaign, and I played it a lot recently. I'm like, I can't see anything wrong with this game. Okay, there's a few glitches here and there, as every game has, but obviously it's like, you look at this game and you think, this is actually quite fun, I like this, you know?
Yeah, it's unique in its own sense. I mean, the vehicle design is definitely different. And also, the way the game plays, it's a bit more grounded. You don't bounce up and down as much as you did before.
Yeah, and also you seemed like you were always mag-locked to the track as well. So it's kind of like you were drifting around the places. But that's kind of like, that was the lore of the game. And this was back in 2000 as well, because I think the game was still in development back then. Because the PS2 was very newly announced back when Fusion came about.
That's right.
And now we get on to the fun bit. We're going into the demos now. So there are 2 demos for Wipeout Fusion. There are the standard demo and the challenge demo. We're going to be looking at the standard one, I believe, first. Oh no, we're looking at the challenge one first. Apologise. I'm now going to turn on the audio because I think this is what you're going to hear something now that you've never heard before. This is based off of zone mode. So zone mode was newly introduced in Wipeout. As you see, you got a little kind of like opening message about zone mode and what you're about to be playing, getting you all kind of like ready to enter the zone, you know what I mean? Getting you all excited. So, this is the bit that I've been teasing, okay? I'm going to let you listen in and see what you notice different.
3, 2, 1, go!
Well,
Yeah, a bit different.
very different, right? You've probably never heard the Wipeout Fusion announce a countdown from 3 before. Because in the original game and the other demos, it just says ready, then go. But this time, you get an actual countdown. Bit different.
Yeah.
Something a little bit different. May not seem like much, but I'm pretty sure this might be a big deal to a few people.
Yeah, sure. Alright, so this is zone mode, but we're not looking at the zone graphics that we are used to.
No, we are not. As you can see, we are actually using a upgraded Physar ship instead for the zone ship. And a few little added things on this one. The billboards, like in previous Wipeout games, have a few differences. As you can see, some says Wipeout Fusion and then Christmas 2001, saying when it's going to be due to release. And yeah, we're just jumping ahead to zone 30 because that is the actual limit of the demo.
Okay.
As you can see, once you hit zone 30, the ship automatically explodes.
Oh, okay, I see.
So the demo is limited to 30 zones, but just a few little differences. You get to play zone mode, you get an exclusive announcer, you get to play as the Physar upgraded ship, you get a few billboards, and it just feels a bit different overall, really.
Sure. So this was the demo where all you could do was to play the zone mode.
Yep, this was the challenge-based demo, so you were basically challenged to try and reach zone 30. And the good news is, as well with that, is you were actually able to compete on a leaderboard on wipeoutfusion.com before the game was even released. They provided you a code at the end, which you were able to put on the official website, and you were able to compete with pilots all around the world. And we're coming on to our final demo of the video. We're on to the Wipeout Fusion demo, which is the standard demo.
Yeah, and it's obvious now how different the ships look. I mean, this looks quite similar to Physar, but it's the engine. It almost looks like jet engines here. And you can pick your pilot as well. And there was stat tweaking back then as well. Yeah, this is definitely some completely new direction that they sort of abandoned after this game.
Yeah, and I think Redout 2 kind of took this approach with its like configuration system with all the different parts that you can unlock. It kind of reminds me of it in a way, just without credits. It's kind of like you unlock parts instead of you gain credits.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of how it reminded me of. So in this demo, you were able to pick 2 different tracks. So you were able to play Floran Heights or Alcavexus. I think there was only one course available on each, which I think was the medium course for both, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. You get 2 ships, which you're able to fly either Pfizer or the EGR.
Yeah, which is half of EGX in Wipeout Mega Collection.
That is very true. And in this demo, all the weapons are available, every feature was available. You're able to upgrade your ship as well, so you're able to have a little play about with all sorts of different things. There are obviously some options unavailable, like for example AG League, Sandbox and stuff like that. So you weren't able to do everything, but more or less the actual main features of the game you were able to try out in the demo. And you can see obviously the ship braking mechanics, you can see how the steering changed. You basically got to experience Wipeout on 2 different tracks really. And you got your race statistics at the end. You felt you're able to, well, it had a lot of replayability. And you were able to pick between the 4 pilots that you had access to as well. So it's kind of like, it could have been a different experience every single time, really. But that, in itself, is a little look back on a few of Wipeout's famous history on demos, and showing you how, well, development and things changed throughout the years. And this is just obviously retro. There's probably still a lot more to show, and a few more differences that I may not have found yet in not only the later games but also the earlier games as well. I'm still discovering new things on these demos as I play through them all the time. There could be still something hidden behind our sleeves that we could find, so
yeah, definitely. But you brought some very interesting trivia.
the more discussions and the more things that we can reveal from the past games and also from the new games and what new possibilities can come, it's kind of, the more we can keep it going, the more the game stays alive alongside other anti-gravity specials like F-Zero, Redout and Ballistic and all the other games that are in the franchise as well. The good thing about demos is it's a permanent state of unfinishedness that you can get to be a part of.
And of course, you'll find the link to SOLARXCETIC'S channel in the video description. But I think we'll end the conversation there. Thank you so much, Ben, for visiting the channel.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on to discuss things. It's been fun.
Yeah, it really has. So, thank you everybody for watching. I'm Eric from Major Research Central, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.